hiyo haita kuwa ati kuna yule anasikia zaidi ya yule mwingine. Hii maumivu ni ya kila mtu. And so for this time is Kenyans to unite and fight for their country, because anytime a country is with freedom, everybody enjoys it. It doesn't matter where you come from, but everybody is free and happy wherever they are. Hakuna mtu atatoka huko Nyanza aende Central kwenda kunyang'anya yule mwingine kitu. The only thing they are looking for is freedom to do what they normally do as in their usual life. Hiyo tu ndio wanaangalia, lakini wamenyimwa. Na wamenyimwa na njia nyingi sana. Kwa sababu ikiwa kile wewe umejitahidi kuweka pamoja kinakuja kinachukuliwa na mtu ambaye hata hajui ulipata aje, unasikia uchungu. Na akichukua, anachukua na style ambayo hutajua, unarudi kuta hauna kwa sababu kimeenda. It's very hard for people to live in such a life. Very hard. And that is why you see everybody is crying. Na hii kilio imekuja tu pole pole kama vile mto hujaa pole pole, alafu unajaa unakuja unafagia kila kitu. That is the way it has come. Na hii mambo si ya mtu mmoja. Kwa hivyo hata hao MCA hata wao wanaangalia, wanaona hii shida ikiendelea hivi, hata nikiwa UDA, yule mwizi ambaye tumetengeneza, you know, this environment of stealing has been invented by this government, fake government, because people are stealing to self-help themselves. But the problem is, unaibia hata rafiki yako. So watu watakuja kuwa enemies of each other. Na hiyo ni kitu mbaya sana kwa nchi. Kwa sababu nobody is going to move out of Kenya to go and live in another country. This is our country where we belong. Na sasa kesho nitakutana na Kenyan with love, aliyenipiga ghetto, akaninyang'anya kile nilikuwa nacho. Nitamuona aje? Even after freedom, even after we get our country back, nitakuona aje? Pengine mimi niwe na roho safi, nikikuangalia na kuhurumia. Lakini wewe utakaa na uoga ati labda mama ataweza nitumia watu waniumize kwa sababu ya vile nilimfanya. You see, now it's a way of putting people into awareness and fear of each other because of the acts that people are doing. They are not doing it because they want. It's not what they want to create enmity between each other. It is an environment that is being created by this fake government, and it needs to go completely. Mimi hiyo maneno ndio nilikuwa nataka kuongea. I go to the next point I wanted to put. Ruto is not here to develop the country, but to kill everything that was erected by people who were there before. Pipeline nani alianzisha? Ni Moi. KICC ilijengwa lini? Ni nani? Hii mabarabara yote ilikuwa imetengenezwa, highways and everything, ni nani alitengeneza? Economy ya nchi yetu nani alitengeneza? All these things he want to finish it. Na si ati anamaliza ndio atengeneze. Anamaliza yeye afaidike, hajali na legacy yake, which doesn't mean anything to him anyway at this juncture. He just want to be there, being a very hostile, fake president. Awacheze maisha yenu, na you can imagine somebody in power akiwa anatenda vitendo vile anatenda. Unafikiria huyo mtu anawafikiria aje? Anawaona nyinyi bure kabisa. I have the power. I've never understood how you can be proud of having power, which you are not empowering your people. How can you be proud of that? So huyu ni mnyama ambaye tuko naye kwa nchi yetu. Ni mtu hana utu hata kidogo. And I've been preaching this. hana utu hata kidogo. And that's why he's abusing the power that belongs to people. And now the people should stand up and say, the power belongs to us. It doesn't belong to you. And you should go. Those are my words I am using as a mother, as a Kenyan who feel very much betrayed wherever I am. Because I don't belong anywhere else. I belong to Kenya. Na hiyo ndio nchi yangu ambayo ninapenda. So for Ruto, he want to kill everything that was done by the previous people who were very proud doing that in their country for Kenyans who have been appreciating what has been done by the previous presidents. So for me, I would say, hiyo mambo ya kuwa MCAs wanaona challenges zile watu wanaendea, it's a good thing. Let them see that. And I believe they are seeing that kwa sababu wao ndio wako kule chini na ndio wanakutana na hawa watu na hawajaenda mbali na wao. Angalia kama hao senator ma MP wamehama, wametoka kwa watu wao, wameenda wakanunua manyumba Nairobi ama Mombasa, wametoka kwa watu wao. So they are nowhere to be seen. But MCA has a long way to go. Kwa hivyo ako tu kwa mashinani, anaishi kwa nyumba yake ile alichaguliwa akiwa, kwa sababu hata yeye hajapata mali ya kufanya ahame huko aende shughuli zingine za mbali. The same people, I hope they will not change their mind. They can also do the same. If they get more money, if they get to that stage of having that they are getting money like senators and MP, maybe they will do the same. But I pray and ask them, kindly take care of the people who elected you so that you can live longer. And the more you are taking care of the people with who they elected you, the more you are getting blessings from them. And you can continue that way and reach the point of having good life the way you want. Lakini wale ambao wamechaguliwa, wamefika pahali wamefika, wamejiona wako na kiburi. Because I see many of them, they have no respect to human being. I'll put another point. Wale wamama ambao waliketi pahali wakisema vijana wa Central wawe eliminated. I cannot believe a woman having those kind of words from her mouth. I believe that a mother should be always quiet where there is no peace, thinking, what else can we do to make peace? But when they become the weaponizer, sharing a podium whereby they say that those youth should be eliminated, I tried to think, where do they come from? And especially Anne Muratha, that woman has done a lot of weird things. I don't trust her anymore. Weird things that you cannot condone. You cannot believe that she can behave like that. She look very decent by virtue of her look physically. But in her, I think she have a half brain. I'm sorry to say so. Because I believe as a mother who have given birth to a child, you cannot curse people all over the place. You can only pray and keep quiet. If you don't open your mouth to say such words and curse children, God will remember you. And what I see, these women have eaten enough. They have reached a point where they feel they don't need anybody. They have enough. They can take care of themselves. And it's a very bad thing because pride comes before a fall. They will be facing the same youth and they are not going to be eliminated because we stand with them. The majority of Kenyans stand with our youth and they are not going to be eliminated. But these women, they will face the wrath of the country because nobody would like even to hear them open their mouth. Even for them themselves, they will not present themselves to any crowd talking about being elected, and they are not going to be there forever. They will be out of there soon. And they'll be facing a lot of challenges because of their mouth. Na kuna ambiagwa, ile maneno inatoka kwa mdomo wako, chunga sana. Because once it is out, you cannot swallow it back. It has gone, it has spread. If it was a good thing, it has blessed people. If it is a bad one, it has cursed people. And that is how it goes. There is no way other traffic. It's only that. So for me tonight, I would ask Kenyans, let's unite. This is a simple thing. Hii uchungu itaisha. Hakuna siku uchungu unaanza unamaliza mtu. Tuendelee tu. Tukule uchungu wetu, lakini siku itakuja. Tupiganie nchi yetu. Msisahau, when the going get tough, the tough gets what? Do you know that saying, Kenyan with love?
When the tough gets going, when the tough gets going, the going gets tough.
Something like that. So hakuna kitu ya rahisi dunia hii. Ile unataka kupigania ndio uipate in a better way, in the legal way, lazima tupate uchungu. Na huo uchungu ndio sasa tuko. Na utaendelea kuwa mkubwa. Don't give up, Kenyans. The more it is tense, the more we are getting close. Let's not give up. We are good on this. Na tumevumilia mengi. Kwa hivyo tuendelee na kuvumilia. Lakini si kuvumilia na kurudi nyuma na kufikiria ati it's easy. No, it's hard. And it is going to hit hard. Lakini na sisi tujitayarishe, we hit hard. Na Mungu atatuonekania. Kila kitu ambacho kiko na mwanzo kiko na mwisho. Wasione ati vile wananyanyasa wananchi ati sasa wao wako na wakati wao mwema. Because they have that chance. That chance comes and pass. Lakini sisi tuko tunaumia, sisi ndio tutakuwa na wakati ule mrefu wa kufurahia maisha yetu. Asanteni sana. So I'm leaving Kenyans with those words, telling them, let's get strong and encourage each other. I know this time round, everybody will come out.
Kenya with love. Let me say something. I'm looking. I'm looking at in terms of the leadership itself. You know, when you look Kenyans, Kenyans are the greatest people and the people who love one another. And I like by giving incidences. And the people who are making Kenyans to be the way they are, their politicians, both from the people who are running from different political parties, depending on where you align yourself to. When you have the history of when disaster strikes in Kenya, you will see our Kenyans will always come to assist. And I can give you a typical example. When, first of all, we had the bomb blast, when you see those pictures, you will see the real Kenyans, the Kenyan in us. When you look at the Garissa, you will see the Kenyan in us. When you look at Dusit, you will see the Kenyan in us. All that is the mall that happened, you will see our Kenya from walks of life go to Uruma, whereby the building would fall. You will see with the crude weapon, Kenyans will be there. And another side of Kenya that tell you how Kenya love one another. Look at some of the content creators on how they go outside their ways and talk to Kenyans, and you see what they are doing. It tells you how love the Kenyans themselves. There's that Kenyanness. But when it comes to leadership, that's where the problem starts. And how does the problem start?
Can I throw one on you, my brother? Do you remember when we had the Dakumat attack, where we never even knew how many people had guns, were registered gun holders, and they actually went even before the police themselves, and they actually went and, I mean, you remember one guy that actually was a gun holder and a registered gun holder that actually scrolled being shot at to go pick up a kid from Chinia counter and bring them back. So what was that? Was Nakumat what the biggest, the tough one? So when you see that,
when you see such like incidences, it tells you who Kenyans are, the Kenyanness in us. But now, when you come to leadership, yeah, that's where the problem is. Look at when Kipyegon, the lady, when she wins medals, look at all the political leaders. It's all about praises. But what is it that when we come to politics, that's when the incitement will always come. That's when I will see Kipyegon as not a Kenyan, but I'll see as a Kalenjin. That is when I will see Njeri or Kamau. I'm seeing not a Kenyan, but a Kikuyu. That is when I will see Benson Otieno as not a Kenyan, but a Luo. That's when I will see you as not a Kenyan, but I'm Kamba. When it comes to politics. And who breeds all this? It's the things that the politicians say. And if you look at the way it works, right now, like what the president is doing, most of the leaders that are aligned to him are praising what he's doing. But wait until it will be on the tail end. That's when they will change their tune and come to the winning side. So you'll find that the people who come into parliament are not different people. We keep on recycling them. There's nothing that is going to change because they support what is very wrong. They clap what is very wrong. They pass laws that does not serve Kenyans. But when we are going to another election cycle, they sit down and look at what side is going to win. They go to that side. So it tells you we will not move any inch as a country because they're the same people who legislate these bad laws that comes in, the same people who, when they have tenderpreneurs, the same people. How do you expect your country to change if you are recycling the same people? And at the same time, you find them having the podium. They're talking on how we want to make Kenya to look like Singapore. Tell them, how did Singapore come to be? Singapore does not entertain leaders who still make deals at the expenses of Kenyan people. That's not how you can make Singapore. Singapore was not built on friendship, whereby cronies. Singapore was built on people who trust their country and trust the process and believe in that thing that it is us that has to build it, not me and my family. So as we talk about all what Kenyans should do, let us think about the leadership. What kind of leadership do we want to put in place? And the kind of leadership that we put in place, that will determine the kind of country that we are going to have. So those are the kind of conversations that sometimes we need to have. Question ourselves, what kind of a Kenya we want and how do we achieve it? And who is going to assist us to achieve it? So those are the questions that if we answer those questions, then we are going to have a country. But if not, it's still going to be what we are seeing, because the young leaders, some of the young leaders who are coming in, they are trained with the people who have been in political cycle, who are playing the leadership right now, that knows that the only way that I can get rich is to steal from the government. That's how they are trained. So how, and the same people who are voted in areas whereby they are vying for. So how will we change that culture? That is what we should start kind of having conversation on such like issues.
Thank you, Brother Benson. I actually wanted to bring a video, but I think that would be the video that I wanted to bring was it will mess what we are talking about. I think I'm now seeing Pastor Lala is here. I think maybe we just need to have the conversation that we are having today because we have at least 30 minutes. I think it's, unless you guys tell me to play it, I think it's a good video, but I think the conversation that we're having is good to have really a decent conversation. I really would want to play it, but I'm also hoping that it's up to you guys. This is not my show. It's your shows. For me, I think that we need to go back to our constitution. you know, like what Brother Benson said, there comes a time we stop these games. When you have leaders coming and telling you that, oh, and you know they're lying to you, but because they're saying something that is so happy, something that is so cordial, and something that, you know, moves with the time of the day, and you know you're being lied. You know, like Ruto says, wajinga wanaisha Kenya. We can see when you're lying. We can see when you're just wanting the crowds to, you know, tip him. We know when you want to just hype up, you know, hype the crowd. But where is Kenya at that point? I think at some point it's about time we just, first of all, just keep quiet. I mean, stop, halt, and say, wait, what is even this person saying? Why is he even saying it? Mama, I can see your hand. I'll get you. And I know Lala. Lala, thank you so much for being around. I know Lala is also waiting, and I know he's really itching because I know him. Thank you. And Lala, I wanted to make fun of you today earlier because you perfected your Swahili nowadays. But anyways, that's off the topic. But you know, I think it's about time we have a constitution and even this civic education. Ladies and gentlemen, I like the conversation that we're having today because we're really having a conversation. I would ask if you want me to play a video or just have the conversation that we have. There's like a video here that has been bothering me so much. If I can play it, or do we just have this conversation? Either way, I'm okay because I want us to really have this open conversation. It will be mtasema kama mnataka ama mtaki. It's okay to say no. One, when you wanataka mkono juu. Lala, unless you want to come first and then I do it later. I don't want to mess up everything.
I'm at whatever you decide. That's fine with me. It's good to see you, Benson. Mano, it's good to see all of you. It's your choice. You want us to say something? You want me to say something? That's fine.
I mean, you have the floor.
Okay.
I only have one. I only got one vote, so I mean the vote is imeangushwa. So, so it's your floor, and then maybe before Benson comes out, I'll do the video.
Ni asanteni sana kwa nanyi. Nilikuwa na Bernard Alia, lakini tunashukuru Mungu tuna hii nafasi ambayo tumepewa ili tuzungumzie hizi jambo. Kwanza kabisa, for the first time, I think I'd like to praise Ruto. I know it's going to surprise from all of you guys. But I'm saying this. Sometimes it takes someone like Ruto to wake us up, okay? So that we can be awakened. Many of us think of the boundaries of Kenya as northern frontier, up to down the southern part, and Lake Victoria to the Mombasa, the coast, and that is the one that we should protect. So if somebody crosses over those borders, kila Mkenya kujutu na wezi kuingia hapa, this is our country, we defend it. But do Kenyans know that there's another boundary that has to be protected with our lives? And that boundary is a very small one. It's a small book called the Constitution. That Constitution. And if you watch Milley, the outgoing or the former chief of staff of the US, I think Biden was there when he was speaking. He said, we don't pay allegiance to dictators or to a human being. Our oath is to defend and protect the Constitution. We are willing, we die for it. It's that document called the Constitution, not Ruto. So the thinking here for me is that maybe it's taken us this route for Kenya to wake up and know that we are all required to protect that Constitution. I wish someone would play this to Ogola. Okay, play the video that Miley or Millie, spoke, the address that they don't protect the Trumps or the Bidens and others. They protect the Constitution of the United States of America. And Kenyans must wake up, because a lot of these guys we see out there do not protect the Constitution. Their allegiance is to Ruto, no one else, Ruto. And that has been a problem in the past.
Reverend Lala.
Because we tend to abandon the Constitution and begin to protect a
Pastor
human
Lala.
being.
Pastor
And that
Lala.
is, okay.
No, I'm asking you a question. Do you have do you know the caption on that video? I'm trying to look for it so I can play it on my other screen.
Yeah, I can get it. You can play it. It is just put General Miley, then you see it. So it's there. Miley, United States, protecting the oaths of the Constitution. Just put those words, then you should be able to get it. If you don't, then I'll forward it to you after I'm done. Because, and I think that's where we go wrong, because we actually, when we are talking here, we're talking about Ruto. We shouldn't be talking about. We should be talking about the Constitution. How do we protect it? Ruto or anyone else should not tamper with it. That is like somebody crossing the border to come and capture Nairobi or capture Mombasa. It's even worse when it's the Constitution, because we are talking of the entire system that has been placed, that people died for, to create this thing called Kenya. That Constitution is what defines us as a nation, as a people. That's the one to be protected. Okay, that's the one we die for. That's one we take an oath to defend, not a human being. And I stated that Angola should be able to think in those directions. Is there to protect the Constitution of Kenya. All those parliamentarians, all those leaders, they are not there to work for or to protect, or they don't take an oath of the office to protect the president, but the Constitution. So I think, as I stated, but I don't want to repeat myself, Kenyans, this is a wake-up call for us to know our Constitution well. I think Matoyo umekuwa akizungumza habari ya Constitution sana sana, and I think it's high time we really think about that, because if whoever Museveni would have crossed to Kisumu, all Kenyans would have been probably there. Okay, a little island. Everybody was, up in arms. But now, when somebody is getting the very heart of nationhood, the Constitution, we decide to side with this man. So our commitment to the Constitution is weak. We are going to remain weak nation till we decide to look at that document as the barometer. That document becomes the center, the lighthouse of everything. Our lives has got put our life to revolve around that constitution. Then that way, it doesn't matter who comes, because this problem would have been very simple if a constitution. It would have been very, very simple, but we can't solve a problem. So maybe Ruto has brought us to this place so that we can be able to understand who we are as a nation and do what is right for this nation. Because if we don't take care of this issue, Ruto's gone, another Ruto will come and do the same thing. It means we cannot change anything. And that's what I've been saying over and over again. If we let Ruto stay on up to 2027, it's going to be the biggest mistake. If you start organizing yourself for the next election, that's the biggest mistake. He has to go. That's what we'll say to us. We tell ourselves that we are a nation that live by the law, by the constitution, and that nobody can mess with this thing and get away with it. If we allow Ruto to get away with it till 2027, that's a big failure, a big one. And so I want Kenya to think and really ask themselves the question, are you happy? Is Ruto upholding the constitution? Are we living a life that's worth anything with this kind of system, with this kind of governance? So if the answer is no, then we have to go back to the drawing board. The same constitution gives us the answer. Pure. We the people, we are the sovereign. And we are saying no. And we say no is a no. So whether it's Mandamano, we go out there and get this guy out. And I wish even the military would simply say, you know what, we want to obey the constitution. Show us. Or this is what it is. And everybody doing the same thing. That way, any government that will come after this will know, how to walk, where to walk any system, any person. But right now, it's not. They make their own laws. That's the problem. So I think sometimes we are fighting the wrong thing. Let's fight for the constitution. And if we get the constitution back, then people like Ruto will fall in place. All of us will fall in place. But right now, to talk about next election, 2027, and then kind of sweeping all this thing under the carpet and let Ruto stay on, I think it's the biggest mistake we'll make. That is it. Actually, our protest will be worth nothing when you think about it, because you are leaving something that will haunt the nation in the future. Because whatever we do now will play again in the next election. It will. We may go to the next election and do well, but you know what? The issue still stays. They're still going to remain. They're going to resurface because we have not solved the problem. And that's why God is helping us, because the economy is bad. Now imagine the economy was good, things were well, going on after this. Nobody would even be talking. Yet the problem is there. It keep on coming because election has been compromised. People do not know, don't trust it. And then you think you have a nation, you don't have one. So hizo ndizo shida ambayo tuko nazo. Wakenya wajue kwamba tukipondoa huyu jamaa wakati huu, tukingoja mpaka 2027 ndiye na aende, itakuwa shida yetu ile itakuwa itatatuliwa. Tutakuwa na shida kubwa sana, manake itakuwa inazidi tu, ni kama kansa ambayo kutibu inakuja. Lakini tukimaliza na huyu jamaa wakati huu, tukasema as Kenyans no, then we will actually have corrected the problem. And that problem will be corrected because anybody coming will know the power is with the people. Right now, they don't believe that. They don't think that. They know the power is buying, the votes. The power is with the judges whom you go and pay. And so they know it's the money in your pocket is the power. But if we do it correct, then that money will not help anybody coming in the next election, because people will say enough is enough. We know what we want. We are a democratic, constitutional democracy, democratic country, and you cannot go against our constitution and stand. And so that's the way I believe we should do it. Get rid of Ruto. I will not change my mind unless somebody tells me something better to wait for 2027. 2027 is a big mistake. Ruto has to go between now and 2027. Before 2027, that is.
Okay. Thank you, Lala. I can hear you have a call coming in. Brother Benson, let me play just two real quick videos. I know Mom is around here. I won't actually, probably I'll just do my closing remark up on Musho, but because I know you have a lot of things. But Brother Benson, I want you to stick on that. You kwanza ya pale chini, what really ails us. But let me just play these two videos real quick, back to back. They're not long. And then after that, you come in. And I think, Lala, you will also come back. I mean, this is my contribution for this. And then because I also have, I have about 20 minutes before we can close. So we have 20 minutes. Before we bring back Brother Benson, let me just play these two videos real quick. And Lala, maybe on the second video, you will tell me if that's what you're talking about. It won't be the main one. But let me start with this one.
Millions of Kenyans. Mokioni criticized the proposal to create the office of the Prime Minister and the official opposition, saying that it was not among the issues that led Kenyans to the streets to seek better leadership. Now, the leaders who have pledged to revive the party ahead of the 2027 elections have also told off President William Ruto over the planned sale of key parastatals, saying they will rally Kenyans to oppose the move.
It is very, very immoral of us to think that we can start creating offices for people while people died when they were demonstrating in the streets. Watu hawakwenda milolongo ama demonstration maandamano kwa sababu ya ofisi fulani. Watu walienda kule kwa sababu ya gharama ya maisha. This document falls short of that issue. Ilikuwa gumu sana kuongea na watu ya KK. Hawakutaka hayo mambo yazungumzwe.
For the speaker to purport to elect a whip for the Jubilee Party, that is none of his business. We as a party are the ones who will write to the speaker to tell him who is the whip of Jubilee Party in the House. If government is paying 22% to borrow, will the banks lend to small business, or are they going to lend to government? That very high interest rate is what has led to an upsurge in non-performing loans. I'm sure you have all seen the FKE, Federation of Kenya Employers, statement from a few days ago showing job losses, I think estimated over 70,000.
Guys, let me just play the other one real quick, so that I can let you guys do. Maybe sit. I won't have anything to say. I'll just let you guys actually have a conversation about it. Here's that one. I think this was Lala's. I hope this is what he was talking
Trump. That's me. President Trump is a politician. He can do whatever he wants to do. But as a soldier, I should never enter into politics. And as soon as I recognized it, it lasted all of about 30 to 40 seconds. Photos were taken, lasted a lifetime kind of thing. But as soon as I recognized it, I walked away. My aide and security detail walked off to the right and got out of the way. So, but yeah, that shouldn't have happened. And I knew instantly once I realized it was a political event that I shouldn't be there in uniform. And I thought the best thing to do. I was already on a pre-planned speech for graduation for NDU. And I inserted the part of it to try to make that as a teaching moment for our up and coming officers to make sure they knew that, I had made a mistake and I regretted that.
If you had to do it again,
I would not have participated.
President asked you to do something, presumably in the Oval Office, you would have said no.
Absolutely. There's no place for a uniform to be in a political event, period. Now, that doesn't mean, that it doesn't happen every now and again. I've been in, both sides of the aisle of put me or my predecessors in photographs at various times, et cetera. That stuff happens. It's not necessarily great, but it happens on occasion. I've been in campaign commercials, and we've asked campaigns to please take us out, and normally they do. So bottom line is the United States of America is a healthy, independent, democratic republic. We don't want our military involved in actual U.S. domestic politics. It is true that war is politics by violent means, but that's a different case. We're talking about U.S. domestic politics, and the U.S. military has no part in that.
So
Come in, Brother Benson.
Unajua nilikuwa nataka Pastor Lala kuwe hapa tujaribu kuongea naye kwa Kiswahili. Sasa kuna mahali nakubaliana na Pastor Lala kwamba lazima tuheshimu katiba. Na ukiangalia let me just speak in English. So we have to respect we have to respect it, and we have to obey the Constitution. And I'm still bringing you back to leadership and governance. Yeah. If you look at some of the leaders right now, some of them could have not been even MPs if Chapter 6 of our Constitution was something that was respected. And what usually happens in our country, and we don't want to point it out due to the fact that we are kind of like allied to our politics or like our political parties.
Mr. Benson,
yes,
brother, because tumeacha tukiwa wawili and we still have about 16 minutes. Okay, can you explain to people what Chapter 6 of the Constitution is? Because I don't think we have the civil education. So you come out to Aksamaga Chapter 6, Chapter 1, people understand what it is.
No, this is...
Unazambia watu, Chapter 6 inasema nini?
I can just give a summary of it. It deals with integrity issues. If maybe you have a case that you need to answer, it deals with maybe, let's take a typical example, like you saw what happened with Oscar Sudi. You saw what happened with Sakaja when about his certificate. You saw all this. Like, how most of our MPs, some of them are having cases in court, pending cases in court. But you find they still get cleared to run. That is one. Another thing is fidelity to our Constitution. Sometimes you find like when you come to Parliament, remember in 2013, I just want to give you 2013, when the Jubilee won, when they passed the security bill, it was passed because it was affecting the opposition by then. Yeah, but they did not realize that this thing was going to affect them also at some point. So you find like sometimes some of the legislation that we make in Parliament at a particular time, we do them to favor us, but we don't look at in future what the future near years to come, like who will be who and who will be who. So I'm agreeing with Lala that we have to respect the Constitution. And this one should not only be to the government, it should be to all Kenyans. That if we respect the Constitution, then we could have not been where we are today. So we call upon all Kenyans and all our leaders, when it comes to Chapter 6, and you are tainted, you have cases in the court, don't vie for an office. Wait until you are cleared by the courts. Yeah, if it is true that our courts are working, And another thing also, we were just discussing about some things with the youths. If you look at our youths, especially the youths who are the majority, they are the people who are, during the campaigns, they're the people who are coming to the rallies. These are the people who wake up very early in the morning to wake you up to go and line up and vote. These are the people who are being promised jobs. These are the people who are being told everything, that this time round, your stake is at the ballot. But immediately the elections are done, none of the leader thinks about these youths. So what next for them after election? So they also need to start taking their own stand, and such that we know what the youth should know what they are fighting for. If they know what they are fighting for, they are going to change the country, and them also, they have to know what are the benefit that the constitution we have has, the advantage of our constitution. What are the benefits when we come to political processes in the country? What rights or what benefit do the constitution that I have on my side that I can fight it, or I can get on a way to recall your MP if they're not doing a job? It is there in the constitution. On a way, sometimes you have to go and call your MP to give you the answers. They are there. But do we really take on those? Do we vote? Because sometimes you find that you say, okay, because it's going to be politics as usual. So because so and so I know is going to win, I'm not going to vote. Then at the end of the day, you are the same person who is complaining. How would you complain yet you did not vote? So it's a requirement that you have to vote, because that your vote counts. If you fail to vote, somebody who is not worth being a leader is going to be elected. So by you voting, at least you are eliminating some of those people who should not be in the leadership. But by you staying home, you are giving that advantage to people who should not be in leadership. So it should always be awareness of us Kenyans. What do we want? Yeah. And even look, when you look at in our parties, political parties, on how they do their nominations, sometimes some people are being handpicked. They're not the people's choice. But what do? You keep quiet. Yeah? Then when this guy will not be performing, he will not be serving you, he will be serving the interest of the master. Will you be complaining? So you have to know what benefits the constitution we have. Now, when you look at our constitution has enough representation. We have from presidency, we have governors, we have MCAs, we have MPs, we have everybody, So we have to use all that we have, But if we don't use them, we are just going to be at the same place. In both the government, the leaders in government and the leaders in opposition, some of them do not obey this constitution. And there I agree with Lala. If we can fight our constitution and be fidelity to our katiba, then we will have a country. Until then, nothing will change from governance and leadership perspective view.
Are you looking tomorrow?
Nani, Ebu read. I won't read it for you. Ebu read it. Read that.
I don't know if you saw it open right now. I know why am I supposed to?
Where your mic? What happened?
Pilots who are given a big plane that carries a lot of passengers are of certain level of professionalism and experience. Otherwise, you stick with small helicopters, not responsible for many lives.
What more can we say?
Yeah, it's because that's true. We go masses.
Yeah, because that is what I feel. And even when you're talking about, when you guys are talking about the constitution, Lala, are you around? Because I'm taking your time. It's just that I don't know if you, Lala, it's your time. Lala, Pastor Lala. Okay. I have about 9 minutes before we close the show.
Okay.
We were going to open. But me, Nani, Brother Benson, I am so glad that you're in this show. And because you've gone through your struggles and met people who are actually in the ground. And the one thing I really respect about you and even your show when you talk to them is because you're actually not going from the top down to go get the you get the ones that when you're coaching. You know, the MC is the person that is really there. So that is one thing I appreciate you about, because I believe, yes, I believe if we really cannot follow the constitution, then we need to throw it away. I'm one of those people who believe that we don't need a constitution. We need to go some other way if we are not going to follow it. Because in the constitution, if you can take me to a magistrate, no many kesi too. Why do we need the constitution?
Yeah, but you don't need it.
Right? For what? To do what? For who? If I can be driving and then you just pull, I mean, after you don't pull me over, unisimamishe hivi. For no good reasons, sijafanya chochote, unitafutie tu kama kosa hapo, wewe uniweke huko ndani. Wewe kijana atakupeleka wewe ndio. And those police, by the way, I think we need to get even an activism thing of, and when you're talking to your people, can you ask them how many police go to the court to testify against all the charges that they put on people? Wewe ukishikiwa pale unatembea usiku pale kwa nyumba yako, umetoka kununua mkate at what? Msako inaanzaga saa ngapi? 11 ama ni
11 hapo imeanza.
Ukishikiwa hapo umetoka kununua mkate, si duka bado iko. Ukishikiwa hapo ati kijana unatembea usiku,
Unarandaranda.
Hiyo kesi which judge anaendanga which judge anakupelekaga ndani? Because most of the people do not even go to court. Unalipanga hongo, the next day you go home. Unalala ndani siku moja, unalipa hongo. You don't even go to court. Unalipa tu hongo. Nani rafiki yako anakuja na kutoa kwa OCS nini or whatever kwa huko. Wewe lipa hii na hii na hii. Which judge can prosecute you with that? Na nimesikia watu wamekuwa prosecuted. Those wenye wanakuwa prosecuted, kesi inakuwa imewekelewa pale hivyo, sijui nini mtu alifanya na nini, because you refuse to pay hongo. What in the constitution did you do wrong, Brother Benson, by walking in the streets at any time? I don't care what time, walking in the streets of your own country.
If you listen to one of the songs of Eric Wainaina said, "Inchi ya kitu kidogo." That is what we thrive on. Inchi ya kitu kidogo na inchi ya dili. Tunaishi kwa dili. I dili, you know. Every person, even you, the innocent Kenyans who is working at night, you also have to pat yourself with some money, because you say, okay, I'm going to work, but I have to carry this money just in case, because that is the environment we've created for ourselves. And that is a country that we thrive in, you know. And this is manifested even when we are going to get huduma services from the government, because you don't want to follow the due process or to sit down and wait. You'll have to carry some cash with you and say, like, lazima niende niskume. We've created that kind of environment. They know it, we know it. It's not, we've normalized it, you know. So
so in that case, because we don't have much time, in that case, what do you think? And Benson, I really want to have another show with you, by the way.
Yeah.
Just another good show where we have enough time.
Yeah.
Is it a self-inflicted problem, or is it a politician-inflicted problem? Is the problem the citizenry, or is it the politician?
The problem is the foundation that was laid when our country was being founded. Somewhere along the way, we lost our good morals and our foundation of the country. And that's why you see one of the major things that is happening in the leadership is about, we do not want to see any vacant land. Yeah, we believe in, even we go to the extent of taking something small from a poor person because I'm a leader. and it's happening with all our leadership. You know, if you follow them well, majority of them, you will find that they've gone out of their way and taken what is not theirs. And that is how maybe our country was founded like that. And we believe that that's how the leadership can thrive. Authoritarian, we call it the authoritarian kind of like leadership. If I have power, I can do anything I want. That's why you see even leaders, when they interact with the citizen, the ones that have power, they don't respect them. How many times have you seen leaders fighting the wananchi? Yeah. And I can give you a typical example right now, which is Salasia. It will tell you how our leadership is. You saw the case for Salasia and the judge. Yeah. Did you see that? And you see how Salasia, he got his money and went on social media and say, kujeni mchukua pesa yenyu. Na unakumbuka huyu ni kiongozi. Yeah? Huyu ni kiongozi na unaenda kwa social media na unaongea hivyo. What kind of leadership do we breed, and what country? And I'm still bringing you to the governance and leadership. What country do we want? Yeah. Even those that came into parliament who are still new, that we feel they can give us direction and give us hope, like we want to change the kind of leadership, and you see what they're doing. Are they in line with the moral and values of our country?
Yeah. Thank you, Brother Benson. Because I mean, there's a lot I would have said about that, but I can see Lala is back. I want Lala to give you a closing remark, and then Brother Benson does your closing remark, and then we close it, because we've really run out of time. I think I'm going to be exceeding by about 10 minutes by the time we get done. But anyways, this is Sound Candy Talk. Lala, please give your closing remark, and then we have Brother Benson.
I was listening to you guys. Benson, thank you for the topic. I think it's really critical. I think something else that I think is significant, to be mentioned, is that, you see, when the laws do not work for you, the small man in Kenya, the small person, all they know is that the law does not work for them. When people are afraid of police, then you know something is not right. And so there are two classes of people. There are those that use it, the law, to get what they want. That's their ticket to fame, to money, to prestige. And then there's some of us who are scared. We don't want, because all we know is the police coming for kitu kidogo. You go out every single day, you do any business, you got a bribe. Okay, so the law does not really work for common wananchi. So when we talk about the Constitution, then you ask yourself, what is it good for? Okay, so it is such a time when we gotta ask those questions as Kenyans. Do we want a country without the laws, anarchy, or do we want a country where we can raise our children and be safe? Raise our kids to be able to be the people that will run this country after we are gone from here. But the answer is so sad that we are in this condition because of certain choices that we have made. But opportunity has come to us at this moment for us to be able to get back our nation. This is the time, and the time has to be now. If we wait for the next 2-3 years, we'll have made a big mistake economically, morally, socially, and we will not be able to catch up and join the rest of the nations, because we'll have dug ourselves so deep, so down, that defining ourselves as a nation will be very, very difficult. Because, you see, you can talk and have conferences, but if there's no trust, then you're making a mockery of the nation. Because it is the trust that gives us an ideal that can guide us past where we are. We had come to a very good place with that constitution, okay? Because, you see, the constitution is a document that allows us to go beyond the letters, but to the spirit of it. I trust you as my brother. It doesn't matter where you come from, because we are Kenyans. We define ourselves as one nation, as one people. And countries that have succeeded in retaining their identity and also doing very well economically had to define themselves as a nation. They saw their complexity, the differences they had, and they said to themselves, you know what, we'll have this document to guide us past all these challenges. Kenyans have a choice now to make. And this is not about UDA, about ODM, it's not about all this. It's about the heart, the very soul of the nation, Kenya, as we know it. And it has to be something to do with trust in a democratic process, which this constitution already, has all that we need. So these talks and this discussion that we have, if there's no trust that we see the constitution had for all Kenyans, we are seriously in big, big trouble. And so, to me, I'm not young. I'm a child of just born before independence, and all my life has been lived. Most of my life has been lived in Kenya, trying to stand on its own feet as a nation.
Lala, wind up. I'm way beyond all of my time. I'm 4 minutes past my time.
Yeah, 4 minutes. Okay, I'm ending. And so what I've seen now, what I've been seeing over the years, is not good. But out of it, some good things have come up. One of them is the Constitution. And now it's a test. It's a biggest test for all Kenyans. Let Kenyans hear me. This is the test. This is the mother of the test. If we let Ruto stay, then we are condoning all those past challenges that we had in the, past problems that there's nothing we can do about them. We just have to live with them, which is a bad example. So let us resolve.
Like I said,
to
I'm
get rid of Ruto.
5 minutes above my time. Brother Benson arakaraka because nishapitisha time. I'm 5 hours, 5 minutes, and I should have been at 5 hours. So please just give a short one. Maybe I'll give you 2 minutes. Give a short one for Kenyans.
Okay, to me, I would like to tell Kenyans, there's no any other Kenyans that we have apart from the one that we have right now. So it is a responsibility, or it is our duties to come together and chart a way for Kenya that we desire. And this one cannot be by one person. It is all of us coming together and sharing ideas and charting the pathways. For that, thank you very much, and may God bless Kenya, and may God bless you all.
All right. Thank you, Brother Benson.
God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Lala. I really do appreciate you for being with us all this time. I know sometimes it's hard. I can see you're going to work or what you need to do. Asanteni sana, Brother Benson has been here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sound Carry Talk. Tonight, I want to appreciate people. I will not get to everybody because actually I've misbehaved. This show should have ended about 6 minutes ago, but I want to thank Brother Benson a lot. Sana. Brother Benson, come here more often, and so we can have this kind of, decent conversations where we have them. And sometimes we can even put Ruto out of it and actually talk about our constitution and talk about what actually ails us and what is down there. I want to appreciate everybody that has been here with some kind of talk today. Nitataja tu watu kidogo. Angela Wambui, I think Benson kuna nini nilikuwa nimekuwekea hapa hivi. I don't know. I think it was Angela Wambui that was asking me a question. I can't remember. Oh, I think it was due diligence. Due diligence. Asante sana. Thank you so much. If I find it, I will tell you, Brother Benson, because I was really waiting for that to, I don't know, because I'm also trying to look at other things out here. Let me see if I can see. Angela Wambui, asante sana. Review. Angela Wambui is saying review qualification for standing for presidency. I think that's the one I wanted to have a discussion with you, Brother Benson, where we have to review for the qualifications of, the qualifications for the presidency. Now, Brother Benson.
Yes, sir.
Do not leave. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stay there. Do not leave. Hata ukiona nikicheza hizo vitu zangu, do not go anywhere. Do not hit leave. Just
all right, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. Just usitoke.
Sitoki na kusubiri.
Yeah, kaa tu hapo. Let me close the show. Ladies and gentlemen, asanteni sana. This is Sun Candy Talk. This is where we come and have a conversation. This is where you come and you have your conversation. You don't have to wait for NTV or anybody to go and be a panelist there. You come and be a panelist here, and it's international. Tafadhali kujeni. Sun Candy Talk. Let's always have a Candy Talk. It's called the Sun Candy Talk for a reason. And normally what we say, come here with a working gadget and with a sound mind. And sometimes we also say, we don't want to fight. Because we say what? Nisaidie hapo Benson. If we start fighting, if we stop talking,
what will happen?
We'll start fighting.
We'll start fighting.
Yeah. This is Sun Candy Talk. This has been your host, Mato, holding in for Bernard Ingozi. Asanteni sana. Sun Candy Talk, asanteni.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Tukutane Sound Candy Talk.
You are watching Sound Candy Talk. Watch, share, like, subscribe.